Hey, what's going on YouTube? Alabama Reloader here. So coming to you today to talk about an issue that we had, the misfire issue in the 7mm Winchester short mag when I was on the range. I got in my Hornady brass, like I mentioned in the video. It actually showed up the day that I posted the video. After I got home, package was waiting for me, opened it up, and wanted to compare the properly headspace head stamp brass to the converted 300 Win short mag brass that I used in the video. So to recap, we had 4 misfires out of the 20 rounds I loaded up. Okay, I had 3 misfires in the first 3 rounds that I tried, and then after that I changed the way I loaded the rounds into the rifle. Right, the first 3 I just single fed directly into the chamber and closed the bolt. Had a misfire on the first 3. After that, I loaded the rest of them by pushing them down into the internal mag inside the stock. So I pushed the round down and then fed the round that way off the internal mag with the bolt, closed it, and the rounds went off. The 14 out of the next 15, whatever it was, 16 out of the next 17 went off without issue. So 16 out of the next 17 went off no problem doing it that way. However, I did have 1 additional misfire. So I showed that on the video. That was the only range footage that I captured. And there were a lot of comments on the video because I was asking for help, right? Hey, I have no idea what's going on. What do you guys think? And there are several people, this is a known fact based on the comments on the previous video. There are a lot of people in the world that are way smarter than me. I know that's shocking. I know some of you guys find that hard to believe, but this is in fact the case. So because it all goes back to when I first decided to convert this 300, this is federal 300 Win short mag brass. I had 20 pieces laying around, so I converted that down to 7mm just so I could go and shoot the rifle and get the scope sighted in and all that. Well, what I should have done was check the dimensions between the 300 Win short mag and the 7mm Win short mag case. I should have at least looked at some type of diagram of the cartridge itself to see how closely related those cartridges are. Now, I operated off of an assumption, which was a bad assumption, that they would be pretty much identical. And that is not the case. I didn't realize that. If anything, I thought it would be the reverse of what it actually is. Turns out. So I thought maybe the 300 Win short mag might be slightly longer, but us running everything up into the sizing dies and then up in the 7mm Win short mag sizing die and then trimming, I thought, hey, we're converting this brass, shouldn't have any issues whatsoever. I was wrong. So there is a big difference, a massive difference between 300 Win short mag brass, head stamp brass, and 7mm Win short mag head stamp brass. And the difference comes in the base to the beginning of the shoulder. Okay, there's a roughly 40 thousandths difference between that measurement. The 7mm Win short mag brass is roughly 40 thousandths longer in the body from base to the beginning of the shoulder. So all you people who are saying, hey, probably excessive headspace is what's causing your misfires, ding, 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 because we had set this brass back, right? I had sized it down to the 300 Win short mag. I did a complete full-length resize on this brass to close up the neck as much as possible, you know, and I didn't run an expander ball back through it to open it back up because I was sizing it down to 7mm. And so I sized this brass down, did a full length resize on it, and then ran it up in the 7mm wind short mag full length sizing die. So I had pushed the shoulder back to probably SAMI spec on the 300 wind short mag dimensions, which are, again, roughly the base to the beginning of the shoulder is about 40 thousandths shorter than the 7mm version. So we definitely had excessive headspace going on in these loaded rounds. So I'm almost positive that's what was causing our misfires. I can't think of anything else. Knowing that information now, it makes a ton of sense. So I don't think there were issues with anything else, you know, primers, CCI 250s. I don't think there was any issue there in terms of maybe a weak firing pin, something like that. That is something we'll keep an eye on. I'm going to get these guys loaded up with some test charges and go out and just see how they shoot. If the problem repeats itself, right, then, you know, the excessive headspace was at play, but then also maybe we've got something else going on. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we found the root cause of the issue on this one. And I should have double checked before I started converting the brass. I should have checked dimensionally, you know, the diagram of each head stamp. And yeah, make a comparison, but I did not. Again, I was operating off of an assumption, and it was a bad assumption. So if you guys are out there and you're trying to work up some loads or find some brass in 7mm, I think there was a couple of people, I believe, that maybe posted a comment about, you know, being interested in this because they were having a hard time to find brass or something along those lines. Be very careful if you're converting from 300 wind short mag to 7mm. It's not as simple as something like 308 to 7mm audate, right? That was sort of my comparison. It's not as straightforward as that, simply because of how much longer it is on the 7mm brass base to beginning of the shoulder, right? So yeah, about 40 thousandths roughly. So there you go. I think that's the issue. So everyone that commented, hey, probably excessive headspace, congratulations. You are today's winner in life. So there you go. So plan is to get this stuff loaded up. I will probably be using the American Reloading, the pulled bullets. I'll go through and sort. I've got a bunch of different brands and types of bullets. The majority of what I have for 7mm out of that order is like some Federal Fusion. I think the 150s or whatever it was, 150s or 175s, it's something like that. I need to go through and weight sort them, and then maybe try to sort them by pulling out the best ones, right, without the pull marks and all that, and then use those to sort of do some initial fire forming and see how that works. Because, you know, even with the excessive headspace issue that we were seeing and all this other stuff, you know, we did have that one group that we've had 4 that were fairly close. I mean, probably maybe within an inch, maybe. Those 4 probably went into about an inch, less than an inch and a half group. And then you had the 5th one that was way off in left field somewhere. So I think there might be some promise with that particular bullet barrel and powder combination. It was Ramshot Magnum. So we'll go back, we'll reevaluate that. I've also got, I believe it's some Nosler Accubonds. I don't have a lot of those though. There's like I think they're the 160s. I've only got a handful of those. I'll probably load those up, just see how they shoot, you know, just I've got them, right? They're part of that whole order, so might as well use them. But that's it. That's where we're going to leave it. So I think the problem is solved. We'll see once I load all this stuff up, go out to the range. If we have no issues, then we know. I mean, pretty sure it was just the excessive headspace that we had based on the design of the cartridge, this being much longer base to beginning of the shoulder versus this guy. So that's it. That's where we're going to leave it. Y'all have a good one. We'll catch you next time.